Hi, darlings, and welcome back to Pastor Smash, new makeup edition. So, here in Pastor Smash, we talk about new makeup releases, primarily indie brand launches, and we decide if we want to pass, as in no thanks, or smash, add to cart. My voice is a little hoarse today. I'm sorry if that's hard to listen to, but it's been a long few days. So, let's get into the makeup. There's all kinds of new things, so let's talk about them. So, first on my agenda is the Benefit Dee-La-La liquid highlighters here. Now there are 6 shades, and they're very like traditional kind of highlighter colors. But this is formulated, it's a liquid highlighter, and it's formulated with hyaluronic acid and niacinamide. Now I don't have the launch details for this yet. This was not advertised or anything, so I'm not sure yet. This is just like an initial picture. But this is going to be a pass for me. Does not matter if this was like $10. This is not a product that I'm going to reach for. And because of that, it's a pass. But you know, if you like a liquid highlighter, this looks like you get a lot. That package looks big. So we'll see. Maybe this will look really nice on the cheek. But this is not available yet. I did check Ulta Beauty. And I did check Benefit's website just to see if this had like dropped, and it hasn't. So more coming soon. All right, Ensley is releasing a 2.0 version of a previous palette that they've had. So the Cosmic Dreamer palette, this is the new palette, okay? So there are 25 pans. There are 10 specialty shades, which include multichromes, duochromes, holochromes, and metallics. I don't know if I would consider a metallic a specialty shade. Maybe that's just me, but I don't particularly consider metallics to be special shades, especially not in this day and age, but that's how they have it listed. There are 14 mattes, and there's 1 traditional shimmer in there. I think it's actually that lime green color, and here's why I say that. So I have the original Cosmic Dreamer palette here. So this is the original Dreamer palette. Now you can see like this artwork, the photo is the same, or this picture is the same, with the exception of in the new packaging, this is metallic or like holographic, and it has, it's like reflective. So this was actually created by an artist, not AI. Now the color story of the new one is very, very different, in my opinion, from this palette. And let me show you. So the new one's here. This is basically like a rainbow palette. So when I look at this, I see a rainbow palette, okay? But in the old palette, and I'm going to put them side by side here, okay? So the old palette is here, and I'll have the new palette here, okay? So we still have blues. We still have some oranges, but you have more neutral shades. And I feel like the neutral shades have kind of like gone, and they've replaced them with kind of grungy, I wouldn't say they're like super grungy, but very slightly grungy greens. Excuse me, more like swampy greens, and change the color story up to be more vibrant. So this is the original one. And I think this shade is probably the one that stayed the same, because these 2 shades here are probably my favorite in this entire palette. So I'll show you, because this is the original one. These 2 are the best shades in the original palette. So I do have the original palette, but this palette does look very different to me. Now, I think if you're not somebody who, look at, just hold on. Oh, I think this shade is probably the one that stayed the same as like a traditional shimmer. That's just my opinion. I don't know for sure, okay? God, they are really shiny though. So this palette is very different from the original. It lacks that like kind of grungy vibe, but I actually think that it works better than the original. The original, for me, it has a lot of neutrals in it, but it also has some like shades that almost end up looking like, I don't want to say dirty, but they almost look dirty, like muddy on the eye when you wear them. So I find that these kind of tones that have more of like, where's it, like this kind of a gray tone, and the blues are not as vibrant either. Now, the new palette, if you have a bunch of Blend Bunny palettes, do you need the new palette? No. If you have a bunch of Ensley palettes, do you need the new palette? No. but I do like it, actually. I think it's pretty. It does have a magnetic, the base of the palette is magnetic, and the pans are removable. So you can customize your palettes the way you want them, and mix and match with the other palettes, which I appreciate. Now, this one actually has a mirror as well, which I also appreciate. Does the original Cosmic Dreamer have one? Let's check. The original Cosmic Dreamer does have one. So I am glad to see that the new one has a mirror as well, and it has like a fun starburst design on it. And while I do think the starburst design is fun, I don't necessarily think it's practical. Like, it's fun, but you lose a lot of mirror space to that design. And I don't necessarily think that's practical. Now, the new palette is $69. I do have a code with Ensley Rain. It is affiliated, so I earn product credit if you use it. And it's Garden. It'll save you 10%. I'm going to say smash only because I really like the change to the palette. Am I going to buy it? Not necessarily, but maybe I'll wait until I have some product credit saved up. But I do like the new color story. I do think it's really pretty. But if you have a lot of colorful eyeshadows in your collection, you may have some repeats. So I'm going to say smash to the palette just because I like it. Now, the collection also has 6 moon dusts, 6 pressed hollow / multichrome single shades, and 1 lip gloss. And I don't have a picture of them because I did not spend a bunch of time like scrolling the internet looking for pictures of the individual items, and I did not see them listed on Ensley Rain's website. I did check there. So I don't have a picture of those. I know that their palettes are manufactured in China, so if that bothers you, then you might want to avoid the palette formats. It does not bother me, and I've had no issues with quality. The single shades, though, I know that they were still pressing the single shades in-house. But yeah, the other stuff like the lip gloss and the single shades, that's a pass. But the palette I do like, so I'm going to say smash. Okay. Don't pay full price though. Use a code. Even if you don't use my code, use a code. Okay. Ensley has released a new 42. It's such a weird number. It's like 42 is the answer to the life, the universe, and everything. If you are a Hitchhiker's Guide to the Galaxy fan. But they have 42 single shades. So this basket weave texture is what we saw in their first drop of single shades. And they've brought it back for the rest of their single shades. Now there's 42 total, so there are 18 multichromes. The multichromes retail for $14.90 each, which is very in line with, single multichrome shades. That's very streamlined pricing for that. There are 12 single shimmer shadows. Those are $6.90. And there are 12 matte shades, which I don't know why I didn't think there would be mattes at some point. I think I just never thought that Ensley was going to do mattes. I thought they would just do special shades for singles, but I'm wrong. There are 12 mattes. And the mattes are $5.90 each. With this collection as well, they have released an empty magnetic palette. They actually have 2 empty magnetic palettes. The design is the same on the front of them, right here. These are called the Dream Glass empty magnetic palettes. There's a 30 pan capacity and a 12 pan capacity empty magnetic palette. The 30 pan is $8.90. This is US dollars, by the way. I'm located in the United States, so that's what I usually look at in terms of currency. So, and there's a 12 pan palette for $6.90. Honestly, I am not even remotely interested in the single shadows. No, I'm not interested. But the empty magnetic palette, that's pretty. I like the empty magnetic palette. I'm going to say smash to the 30 pan empty magnetic palette. Is it practical for me? No. I don't buy a lot of single shades. But is it pretty? Yes. And for that reason, I say smash to that. I know. I'm an enigma wrapped in a candy coating. I think the packaging, Ensley does really beautiful palette designs. and textures on the outside of their packaging. I think it's absolutely beautiful. And if I'm not mistaken, they are also manufactured in the People's Republic of China. So if I feel like a lot of indie brands have gone that route. And like I said, it doesn't bother me. I've had no issues with quality, but I know that some people are leery about that. And I wanted to mention it because there was controversy with the Ensley rain palettes before. And I just wanted to make sure that like I said something, you know, but like I said, no issues for me. But okay, Diveroon Cosmetics, which is Monica Jones, her brand, is teasing a new launch. So last time we got the Gloomy Gardens palette, which is real pretty. Love that palette. They're teasing a new one. So they released this graphic right here, which has like leaves and flowers, like purple and pink flowers, and they all have dewdrops on them. Along with the phrase, you can see it on the screen, but I'm going to read it for you. It says, we left off in our gloomy gardens, amongst magic, the moth and the moon. There we'll watch dusk turn to dawn, and cover us in drops of dew. So, I think there's going to be a new palette. I'm just guessing. I think there might be a new palette. I think there's going to be more, they released in their Moody Gardens launch, or Gloomy Gardens launch, excuse me. They released water activated liners. I think we're going to see some more of those. And I'm really curious about the drops of dew part. I'm curious if that means we're going to get a setting spray or a mixing medium to go with either the new or the water activated liners or the single shimmers. But we'll see. Those are my guesses. It could be a setting spray, it could be more water activated liners, it could be a palette. But if there are vibrant, like pretty soft greens and pinks and purples, well, that looks like something I would like. Okay, so we have a packaging sneak peek from Wicked Widow Beauty. Now, if you remember, they announced previously that they had secured the rights for the officially merchandise or officially licensed merchandise makeup for the 30th anniversary of The Crow. But now we have a package sneak peek, and then you can see Brandon Lee on the front there. So there's a package sneak peek. Now, I didn't see a launch date. I didn't see any of that yet, but I'll keep you abreast if I do. But there's a look at the packaging. So, all right. Clarity Cosmetics has a new palette. This is called the Forbidden Love palette. There are 12 pans, navy blues. There's a pop of like that slightly muted fuchsia kind of color there. I wasn't sure what to call that. If you know what that color is called, let me know. I looked at it and I was like, it kind of looks like a cool toned fuchsia, like a little like softer of a fuchsia, but I didn't want to be a jackass and just call it fuchsia because it's not fuchsia, you know? But anyway, there are 6 mattes and 6 shimmers. Honestly, I didn't spend a lot of time on it because I don't really like their formula, but the color story is pretty. Would I buy it? No. I'm not gonna buy this. It's $48. It's 12 pans. You can save 10%. I found a code. Steph's Beauty Stash has a code for 10% off. So I will put that information and any other codes that I find for you in the description box. So you can save some coins. But this is an easy pass for me. I'm not interested in this at all. I do think that navy shimmer is really interesting. You don't see a lot of shades like that. I do think it's pretty, but pass. I don't need it, and I'm not going to use it. And if I wanted a similar color story, I would honestly buy the It's Spell Cosmetics one. They're Under the Moon, I think it's called, or Under the Full Moon palette. I'd be more interested in that one, but I'm going to say pass. Okay, last but not least, ColourPop has a new collection. This is the Precious Metals collection. So there are 2 items included in it. There are 6 of the jelly much, like jelly eyeshadows. Those are kind of like, the texture reminds me a bit of the Morphe ones. So those are there. Those are $9 each. There's 6 shades. It's exactly what it sounds like. It's Precious Metals. So one of the shades is called like 9 Carat. But basically, they're like silver tones, platinum tones, gold tones, that kind of thing. So those are there. Those are $9 each. And then I know there's a bundle available too, by the way. I think it's like $80 for all 6, but is that right? No, that's not right. That can't be right. But anyway, there is a bundle for it. And then there's also a palette. So this is a 30-pan palette. ColourPop in their giant palettes. You know, it's just one of those things where I'm like, why do we keep doing this? Especially when they're repeat shades. Like, if you look at this, they're just kind of neutral. They're neutral tones with neutral metallic toned shimmers. So like a gold and a platinum and silver, that kind of thing. I'm not discounting it. Those tones, like those colors, are really popular for a reason. They're very flattering on people. But this palette lacks a lot of depth. Like, I think there's like one darker shade in the corner and it's all like light and like somewhat mid-toned neutrals. I think it lacks depth, but maybe that's just me. Easy pass for the whole collection. Now, if you like this palette, if it's for you, I love that for you, but it's not for me. And I will say they're offering a free, this is a Super Shock shadow for their 10th anniversary. So ColourPop is celebrating 10 years as a company, and they're giving away a gift with purchase for every purchase. And it's this. It's a single shadow. It's limited edition. It's got that 10 embossing. It's pass. I think it's pretty, but I don't need it. So pass. But congrats to them on 10 years. That's pretty cool. As a company, especially a makeup company nowadays, that's an achievement. So good for them. And my loves, that is it for Pass or Smash this week. I know it's a day late, but here's the deal. My voice was even more hoarse yesterday, and I feel like I'm shouting. So right now I feel like I'm shouting, just getting this across, and it doesn't sound great. I got a case of the surprise laryngitis. I don't know. Nothing else is wrong with me except maybe being tired. But yeah, thanks for watching Pass or Smash. If you're new here, hi, how's it going? I'm Liz. I'm a makeup enthusiast, and I just like makeup, and I like to touch it, and I like to I like to touch it, and I like to talk about it. So that's what we do here. Yeah. So I got I do, by the way, on my lip, if you're wondering like what this is one of the new Benefit like lip tint thingies. This is the matte one, and this is the color French Toast. So I got this from Skeepers in exchange for my review, and it's really light on the lips. It's very, very light. It takes a little bit to dry down, but it looks good. It's comfortable. Let me see if it's transfer proof. Mostly transfer proof. There is a little bit, but apparently you can layer it. I'm curious about that. So anyway, I was like, oh, okay. I'll try it. Skeepers. I got it full free. I love a free moment, but I like the color a lot. It's called French Toast. I also got the dewy one, which I have not tried yet. So, and that one is here, and I got the color Coca Cabana. So we'll see if that shows up patchy or not. We gonna find out. But yeah, anyway, I love your faces. Thanks for being here, and thanks for watching another Pass or Smash. Like I said, I know it's a day late, but my voice is really hoarse, and honestly, I was doing a lot of stuff this weekend, so real life comes first, you know? No offense, y'all, but real life is busy right now. So love your faces. I'll see you later. Bye.